Daughter, stop for a moment and take a deep breath. Close your eyes and feel the silence that fills the room where you are now. Perhaps it is the beginning of a cold dawn, where the only sound you hear is the beating of your own heart. Or perhaps it is that exhausting late afternoon where the weight on your shoulders seems unbearable. I am here in this sacred pottery, where time has no hurry, and where absolutely nothing you have lived until today has been wasted. I saw every tear that fell on the clay of your story, moistening what seemed dry, hard, and lifeless. You came to this encounter because your soul cries out for something that human hands cannot offer, the deep desire to build a new version of who you are. Here, on the Divine Love channel, my voice of God echoes not to judge you for the cracks or shards you try to hide, but to show you that the potter never gives up on the work when it is spoiled in his hands. You are not here by chance. This moment was the first step in a restoration process that heaven has scheduled with you for today. You know, many times you've looked in the mirror and seen only the patches of old decisions, the weight of harsh words others have thrown at you, and the dust of dreams that shattered along the way. But I ask your heart, what if I told you that these very flaws are the perfect raw material for what I am raising up now? Just as I led the prophet Jeremiah to the potter's house, as it is written in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 18, verse 4, I am leading you today to a place of profound revelation. The broken vessel was not thrown in the trash, it was remade. I have the authority to transform your chaos into a new beginning because I know every detail of your structure from the moment I formed you in your mother's womb. In this journey that we begin now, I will guide you through the steps of a true metanoia, a complete renewal of your mind and spirit, so that you may leave behind what binds you and clothe yourself in an identity that the world does not yet know, but that I have already projected into eternity. If this word of mine is reaching the depths of your soul at this very moment, if you feel this gentle warmth warming your chest and bringing a peace that you haven't felt in a long time, talk to me now in the comments. Tell me your name, where in this immense world you are, and what time the clock hands show where you are. I want to hear your voice responding to my call, for I call you by name. And, in a gesture of total surrender, like someone taking off their sandals to tread on sacred ground, write with all the strength of your faith, Lord my God, I am here. I subscribe to this channel because I love you above all things, and my heart is thirsty to hear you. Make this your sincere cry, a heartfelt outpouring that rises like gentle incense to my throne. Do not leave this place before I finish revealing all that I have prepared. If you remain with me until the very last second of this message, I promise I will give a clear and direct answer to the dilemma that has been robbing you of sleep and joy. At the end of this journey, I will whisper a powerful phrase in your ear, a spiritual key that will have the power to unlock the courage you think you have lost forever. Those who keep this final word and seal it in the comments as a seal of covenant will receive prophetic blessings that are already being released now upon your home, upon your children, and upon every project your hands touch. The reconstruction process has already begun. Can you feel the gentle touch of my hands shaping your new story? If this divine touch has reached your heart, leave your sign that you have received this word and walk with us so as not to miss any step of this restoration. Have you ever felt that, to be truly strong, you first needed to be broken and remade by my hands? Hands of the Creator. I see you sitting at that wooden table, your gaze lost in the reflection of the window, where the darkness of the night outside seems to be the only witness to your weariness. There's a heavy silence in that empty kitchen, a silence that screams things you don't confess to anyone. I feel the tremor in your hands as you hold that cup, trying to find a warmth your soul seems to have lost long ago. You've walked through the world carrying the weight of a version of yourself that can no longer bear the sunlight. So many patches, aren't there? So many times you've tried to glue the pieces of your life back together with your own hands, using what you had available. A little pride here, a layer of pretense there, a deafening silence over there. But the cracks remain, and you feel that. At any moment, the vase will completely shatter between your fingers. Sometimes you look up and feel as if the sky were made of bronze, as if your prayers hit a metal dome and return to your lap, cold and unanswered. But I tell you, I am inside your silence. I see the marks on your face that makeup cannot hide, marks that are not from time, but from battles you fought in secret, from nights when the pillow was the only one to hear your cries. You feel stagnant, as if trapped in a personality that others created for you, or worse, in a version of yourself that you yourself have come to detest. You have become a hostage to your own past mistakes, allowing them to dictate who you are today. But listen to what my son Jesus declared for moments exactly like this one you are living now, for it is written in the book of Matthew, chapter 11, verse 28. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Note, well, my daughter, I did not ask you to come to me when you were ready, or when you were with an impeccable and unmarked vessel. I asked you to come exactly as you are, with this weight that bends your back and with this feeling that there is nowhere left to run. The relief I offer is not a new patch on an old cloth. It is the opportunity to descend to my potter's wheel and allow the clay to be completely remade. You are afraid that if I break what remains, nothing good will be left. You fear the void that lies between what you were and what you have not yet become. But what you call ruin, I call sacred space for the new. That feeling of emptiness you feel when you lay your head on the pillow is not the end, it is the invitation. I know the voices that whisper in your ear saying that you are too old to change, or that your temperament is your final sentence. They lie. I am the God who makes all things new, and the construction of your new version requires you to stop trying to salvage the shards of the past. What happens when the potter decides that the vessel is no longer fit for its former purpose? He doesn't throw the clay away. He kneads it, removes the air bubbles that represent your pride and self-sufficiency, and starts all over again. Are you ready to stop being that patched-up vessel leaking hope everywhere? I haven't yet shown you what I intend to put inside this new receptacle I'm molding. There's something kept secret in my heart that will require you to abandon what's left of this kitchen table and follow me to a place of deep waters. Tell me with the sincerity of someone who has nothing left to lose. What is the weight you most want to surrender into my hands tonight, so that I can begin to lighten it for you? If you feel that your burden can be exchanged for mine, write our word of faith for this moment in the comments. Light burden. At this very moment, while my hands are still patiently molding the clay of your soul, I feel your heartbeat quicken in response to my touch. A profound spiritual movement is happening now, a holy exchange that goes far beyond what your natural eyes can see. For the new version I am building within you to fully flourish, it is necessary that the soil of your heart be prepared and watered with seeds of generosity and sincere gratitude. I ask you now, my daughter, how do you choose to respond to the immense love I have poured into your life on this journey? If this word of mine has been the balm that finally stopped your pain and the light that illuminated your darkest path, I invite you to pure intimacy and surrender. If it is possible for you, only if it is possible, transform your gratitude into a seed of love through this channel. Consider my love and that of my son Jesus, and contribute using the link in the description of this video and in the pinned comment. There you will find the place where your offering of love can be deposited and consecrated before the Creator of all things. You can contribute any amount. If you want a different amount, just type in the desired amount, and remember, only what fits in your heart. I receive with love. The amount doesn't matter. What matters is the heart with which you give. For what is little for you can be much for the one who receives. Whoever contributes any amount with a sincere heart, don't forget to leave your name and city along with your contribution, because on the first day of the following month, in a unique and special video on our channel and page, Divine Love, the voice of God, your name will be remembered, mentioned in gratitude, and covered with divine blessings released in prayer. For it is written in the second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 9, verse 7, each one should give what he has decided in his heart to give, not reluctantly or under compulsion, for God loves a cheerful giver. Every offering made in faith is a precious seed before me, your Lord, and I will not fail to bear fruit in your life. I see in secret, and reward in the sight of all. Stay until the end of this message, because I still want to touch your heart with my voice. At this very moment, while the silence of your house seems to gain body and weight, I want to enter the darkest and most locked room of your soul, your mind. I see you walking down the hallway in the middle of the night, barefoot, feeling the cold floor, fleeing from thoughts that haunt you like shadows. You try to convince yourself that you have changed, but when you lay your head on the pillow, the same old voices begin to whisper the same scripts of failure. You feel trapped in a cycle where your body wants to move forward, but your mind is a jailer that reminds you every second of who you were 10 or 20 years ago. Daughter, the construction of your new version does not begin in your hands or your feet. It begins in the renewal of your deepest thinking. The word that heaven releases to you today is metanoia. Many think this is just a distant theological concept, but I tell you it is the key to your survival. Metanoia is the radical shift in the direction of your inner gaze. It's when you decide, with my help, that you will no longer accept the labels the world has placed on you. For it is written in my word, in the book of Romans, chapter 12, verse 2, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, His good, pleasing, and perfect will." Notice that I didn't ask you to strive to exhaustion, to change your outward attitudes first. I invited you to allow me to renew your mind. Imagine that your mind is like a garden that has been abandoned for years, where weeds of fear, insecurity, and rejection have grown so much that they have hidden the flowers I planted there. To build the new, I need you to give me the tools and let me uproot those bitter roots. You have been feeding on thoughts of scarcity, thinking that happiness is for others, and that only crumbs remain for you. But I am here to reprogram your vision. If you don't change the way you see yourself in my light, you will continue trying to build a new palace using rotten bricks from the past. This transformation requires courage to confront the self you created to protect yourself. Did you become harsh to avoid being hurt? Did you become too silent for fear of being judged? These are all mechanisms of a mind that still conforms to pain, but today I am breathing a new freshness upon your synapses, upon each painful memory, bringing a clarity you have never experienced. But I haven't shown you everything yet. There is a specific voice, a whisper you've heard since childhood. That has been the biggest obstacle to your new identity, and I will teach you to silence it once and for all. If this journey of renewal makes sense to your spirit, feel free to seal this moment. Like this video if you feel the scales are beginning to fall from your eyes, and subscribe so we can walk together every day until your complete victory. Share this light with a friend you know who lives imprisoned by her own thoughts. Tell me deep down in your intimacy, what is the thought that has been trying hardest to convince you that you won't be able to change? Write in the comments the word that will be your new decree of freedom, renewed mind. Pay attention, because what I'm about to reveal to you is what will separate your old self from the glorious destiny I've already designed. Daughter, I know that the reconstruction process doesn't happen in just one big, isolated event, but in the silence of the small steps of each morning, when you're still between sleep and waking. You know that moment when you open your eyes. The sunlight is still a whisper outside, and the first thing that tries to invade your chest is the bitter memory of what you used to be. It's in those moments, in the warmth of your blanket and the weight of your thoughts, that your new version needs a solid foundation so it doesn't crumble under the pressures of the day that begins. I see you searching for strength where there is none left, trying to remember my promises, while the voices of the world shout that you are the same flawed person you've always been. Therefore, so that you don't walk alone on this journey of mind and spirit, I have prepared something special to be your daily sustenance. If your heart desires to go deeper with me, I have left you a gift in the form of a journey that I wrote with much love and care for all my beloved daughters and sons. The digital book called Divine Love Devotional, The Voice of God. It was prepared to be your daily guide, a balm for your nights of doubt, and a sure map to your new identity in me. It is available right now at the link in the description of this video, and also in the first pinned comment. Feel my embrace in every word, for each paragraph was breathed forth to remind you of who you are in my eyes. And if your financial path is still narrow and not possible for you today, do not condemn yourself in any way. Remain with me here in this message, for my grace will continue to sustain and mold you with the same intensity. And so that your heart may rest and not be confused by the things of this world, I want you to know that, after you register, access to this journey of love will arrive directly in the email you registered. There you will find all the correct instructions step by step to begin this journey of deep intimacy. For it is written, "And put on the new self created to be like God in true righteousness and holiness." Ephesians chapter 4, verse 24. Your new version needs to be nourished daily with my truth, so that the scars of the past do not become open wounds again. Breathe deeply, my beloved. Trust in what I am raising up in you. Stay with me until the end, for there are still secrets about your future that I only reveal to those who choose to walk the second mile by my side. I see the weight you carry trying to fit into places where your soul no longer breathes. I see you holding your phone, tired eyes, scrolling and feeling that tightness in your chest when you see names and faces of people who only remind you of who you were, not who I am making you into. Sometimes the silence of your room is interrupted by the echo of old voices, criticisms that have been etched into your spirit like scars that insist on hurting when time cools. You try to move forward, but it's as if you're walking with invisible chains attached to your feet, chains made of old habits, of conversations that don't build you up, and of friendships that, although they seem as comfortable as an old shoe, are preventing you from running towards the destiny I have planned. The construction of this new version of you requires a farewell that hurts, but that liberates. I know you fear loneliness. I see when you hesitate to distance yourself from certain groups or certain environments because you fear being alone with your own thoughts. But understand, my daughter, there are places that are too small for the size of the glory I want to manifest through your life. You have been trying to keep up appearances, smiling in photos while your heart cries out for sacred solitude. You need the courage to let go of what binds you to the beaten ground of your past. If you continue listening to the same voices that saw you fall, you will never have ears for my voice that commands you to rise. For it is written in the book of the prophet Isaiah, chapter 43, verses 18 and 19, "Do not remember the former things, nor consider the things of old. Behold, I will do a new thing. Now it shall spring forth, shall you not know it? I will even make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert." I don't just want to give you a new path. I want you to become the very path of miracles wherever you go. But for the rivers to flow, you need to stop digging dry wells in lands I have already commanded you to abandon. Your new identity demands a new language, a new circle of prayer, and above all, the courage to say no to what is good, in order to receive what is excellent. Let the voices of the past be lost in the wind of my grace. I am clearing your agenda and your heart, removing the tares so that the wheat may grow strong and pure. Do not be afraid of being misunderstood by those who do not know the secret of our intimacy. Those who know you only through your mistakes have no authority to speak about your future. I have called you out of the boat, to walk on the waters of the unknown, but I have not yet shown you what happens when you finally decide to close the door on what holds you back. There is a reward that is not made of gold or silver, but of a peace that will make you wonder why it took you so long to say goodbye. If you feel that the Holy Spirit is cutting these invisible ties now, leave your sign of communion. Enjoy this message as a seal of acceptance for this divine cleansing and subscribe so that I can continue guiding you out of this emotional captivity. Share this awakening with someone you love who is also bound by old chains. Tell me, with the courage of one who decides to flourish, what is the old voice or old habit that you surrender at my feet today, never to seek again? Write the word of your liberation in the comments. Breakthrough. Remain in a spirit of prayer, for the ruins you mourn are about to reveal the foundation of a palace the world has never seen. Look back for a brief moment, not with the weight of guilt, but with the gaze of someone observing a construction site after a major demolition. I know it hurts to see the ruins of what you took years to build. I see you standing before the rubble of a relationship that promised to be eternal, of a project that failed, or of a health that seems to have crumbled like an old wall. The dust of these ruins enters your lungs, causing that dry cough of anguish, and the silence that remains after everything falls is often more frightening than the sound of the fall. You feel as if you are living in a wasteland, surrounded by pieces of who you used to be, trying in vain to gather the shards with bleeding hands. But listen to what your Father tells you now. I don't need a clean plot of land to begin my greatest work. I prefer the ruins, because in them there is no longer room for human pride, only for my glory. Many times in your early morning prayers, your face pressed against the cold floor of the room. You asked me why I allowed everything to fall apart. You questioned whether I had forgotten you, or if my love had withdrawn from your home. But the truth that heaven reveals to you today is that some structures of your old life needed to crumble so that the true foundation could be revealed. What you called security was, in fact, a prison of appearances. To build your new version, I needed to remove the layers of self-sufficiency that prevented you from depending entirely on me. Your failures, your stumbles, and even the betrayals you suffered are not the end of your story. They are the gravel I am using to level the ground where I will raise a palace of peace that nothing can shake. For it is written in the second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 12, verse 9, "And he said to me, My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore, I will gladly boast in my weaknesses, so that the power of Christ may rest upon me. Understand, my daughter, that my power does not shine in your feigned perfection, but in your accepted vulnerability. It is when you admit that you no longer have the strength to carry these broken bricks that I place my hands on your shoulders and begin the reconstruction. I am taking every shame from your past, every no you received, and every door that closed in your face, and transforming it into pillars of support for the wise and resilient woman you are becoming. The world looks at your ruins and sees defeat. I look at your ruins and see the perfect opportunity to manifest my resurrection. Do not weep any longer for what has crumbled, for what I am raising is infinitely superior to what was lost. You will see that the glory of the second house will be greater than that of the first, but I haven't shown you everything yet. There's a specific detail in your new face, a glow that only shines in those who have been tested in the fire of loss, and I am about to make you look in the mirror of my word, so that you may finally recognize yourself. If you accept that I use your ruins to build something eternal, leave your sign of gratitude here. Enjoy this encounter and subscribe so you don't miss any detail of this divine reconstruction we are experiencing together. Share this message with someone who today can only see the ashes of their own life. Tell me, with a peaceful soul, what is the ruin that you stop lamenting today so that you can see me rebuild? Write our covenant word here in the comments, Holy Foundation. Stay in my presence, for what I will show you about your true identity will change the way you walk on earth. Daughter, walk with me to the mirror in that small bathroom, where the dim yellow light stubbornly reveals what you most fear to see. I see you there, trying to wash away the weariness from your face with trembling hands, observing each line that time has drawn, and each mark that seems to tell a story of defeat. You look at yourself and can only see the labels that the world, people, and even yourself have stuck on your forehead. You see the woman who didn't succeed, the mother who failed, the wife who was abandoned, or the professional that time forgot. The weight of these human names is like an iron mask that constricts your soul, preventing the light I placed in you from reaching the surface. But today, I am here to shatter this mirror of lies and invite you to look at my reflection. For it is written in the first book of Samuel, chapter 16, verse 7, "Man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart." While you count your worry lines, I count the treasures of wisdom that have blossomed in your soul during the storms. The world says you are losing value because the years have passed, but I say you are being refined like pure gold that only reveals its most beautiful face after passing through fire. Your new version is not a desperate attempt to return to who you were in your 20s or 30s. It is the revelation of the woman I designed even before the foundation of the world. You have been hiding behind baggy clothes and rehearsed smiles, trying to go unnoticed so as not to be hurt again. But I pull you into the light and remove that veil of shame. Remember that morning when you walked through the market and felt that no one noticed your existence. You felt invisible, like a wisp of smoke fading into thin air. At that very moment, I was contemplating the beauty of your soul. I saw the kingdom of heaven reflected in the way you were kind to those who didn't deserve it, or in the way you knelt on the cold floor of your room to pray for those who turned their backs on you. That is your true face. You are not your identity document, you are not your bank statement, and you are not your history of mistakes. You are my heir, my darling, the most beautiful project I have decided to carry out on earth. I am changing the color of your days and the brightness of your gaze. From today on, when you look in the mirror, you will no longer see a shipwreck survivor, but a queen who has learned to rule over her own pain. But I haven't shown you everything yet. There is a new firmness being forged in your voice right now, an authority you have never had before. Do you feel this warmth rising in your chest, as if a fire were cleansing the impurities from your heart? It is the beginning of a maturity that is not born easily, but through trial. If this truth is causing the scales to fall from your eyes right now, let us show that you accept your new identity. Enjoy this encounter and subscribe to this channel so that we can seal this transformation every day. Share this video with that friend who has also forgotten who she truly is before me. What do you see when you look into the depths of your soul now, beyond what the world has told you? Write our declaration of identity in the comments, beloved daughter. Pay attention, for the heat you feel now is the fire preparing your structure to support the weight of the glory to come. Daughter, do you feel this heat rising in your chest now? It's not just the ambient temperature, nor the steam from that kettle whistling forgotten on your kitchen stove while you lose yourself in thought. I see you there, your eyes fixed on the blue flame, remembering the times when life burned you with disappointments that left deep marks on your skin and soul. You smelled the stench of destruction, saw the ashes of projects you believed to be eternal, and for a long time, you thought fire was your enemy. But today I invite you to look at the furnace with different eyes. The fire the world used to try to consume you is the same fire I used to purify you. The firmness you feel in your legs today as you walk, that resilience that prevents you from crumbling in the face of bad news, wasn't born in the ease of sunny days. It was forged in the heat of your worst crises. Spiritual maturity, the kind that gives you the authority to speak of overcoming, is only achieved when the clay passes through the fire of my presence. Without the heat, the vessel is fragile, breaks with the slightest touch, and cannot withstand the weight of the living water. You have gone through moments when you felt you would melt from so much pressure, nights when the fever of anguish wouldn't subside, and the cold sweat on your face was the only sign that you were still fighting. But look at how you are now. There is a new temper in your spirit. You are no longer shaken by any wind of criticism because the fire has burned away all the chaff of human approval that you used to seek. For it is written in the first letter of Peter, chapter 1, verse 7, that the trial of your faith, being much more precious than gold which perisheth, though it be tried with fire, might be found unto praise and honor and glory at the revelation of Jesus Christ. Notice that I call your faith something far more precious than gold. Gold doesn't complain about the heat. It surrenders to it because it knows that only in this way will the impurities be separated from its essence. Similarly, I allowed you to pass through this desert of flames so that everything that was false, everything that was I and not God within you, would be transformed into smoke. What remained? What remained was this resilient woman who listens to me now. What remained was the strength of one who knows that, having survived that devastating loss or that bitter betrayal, there is nothing on this earth that can stop her. You are ready to carry my new wine, because now the walls of your heart are firm, resilient, and consecrated. I am blowing on the embers of your hope, transforming what was only smoke into a pillar of fire that will guide not only your steps, but the steps of your entire family. But I haven't shown you everything yet. There is one last frontier, an unknown territory you feared to cross, but now clad in this new armor, you will tread with the authority of one who owns their own story. Can you feel the security that comes from my embrace, as if a mantle of peace were being placed upon your weary shoulders? If you feel that your faith has emerged from the furnace stronger than ever, leave your Amen as a seal of victory. Enjoy this message and subscribe so that your lamp never runs out of the oil of my voice. Share this fire with someone who is going through trials now and needs to know that they will not be consumed. Tell me, with the voice of one who has already conquered fear, what has the fire of life taught you that you will never forget? Write here in the comments our declaration of resistance, proven gold. Remain silent and listen, for my hand is outstretched to take you to the place where your feet have never dared to touch. Daughter, look now at the road that opens before you. I see you stop at the doorstep, your hand hesitating on the doorknob, feeling the cold wind of a dawn you don't yet know. A thick fog covers the next steps, and your heart, That small and valiant drum in your chest beats fast because you have always needed to see the final destination to feel safe. You have spent years trying to control every inch of your path, drawing maps that life stubbornly insisted on erasing with the rain of circumstances. But today, in this pottery of souls, I am asking you to let go of the map and hold my hand. Do you feel the warmth of my palm against yours? I did not call you for a walk where the sunlight reveals everything. I called you for a journey where my presence is the only light you need. The unknown is not a place of danger when you walk with the Creator of the universe. What you call uncertainty, I call an opportunity for your faith to reach the stature I have designed. You fear what tomorrow will bring, whether your finances will hold up, whether your body will endure, whether your heart will withstand another disappointment. But listen to what the Holy Spirit whispers to you now. Your new version was not made to live only in what is predictable. I have given you eagle's wings, and eagles don't need firm ground to feel safe. They trust in the air currents that I myself govern. For it is written in the book of Hebrews, chapter 11, verse 8, "By faith Abraham, when he was called, obeyed, going out to a place which he was to receive as an inheritance, and he went out, not knowing where he was going." Abraham didn't have a GPS, he had a voice, and that same voice is what now makes the fibers of your being vibrate. You are leaving the land of your comfort zone, the Egypt of your old fears, to enter the Canaan of your maturity. I am placing your feet on waters that seem too deep, but you will notice that with each step, the sea opens, or your foot finds an invisible rock that I placed there millennia before you were born. Don't look at the size of the waves, look at my eyes, which overflow with a love that will never let you sink. The process of metanoia that we are experiencing here today is preparing you to govern territories that you previously only observed from afar, with envy or sadness. But I haven't yet shown you the final secret. There is one last key, a code of honor that heaven reserves only for those who cross the fog without retreating. Feel the scent of the rain that cleanses the path, and breathe the pure air of a freedom you have never tasted. Are you ready for what I will give you in the next instant? If you feel your soul is taking this courageous step now, let me know you accept the invitation. Enjoy this sacred moment and register so that my voice may be your guide in each new dawn of this journey. Share this courage with someone paralyzed by fear of the future. Tell me in the secrecy of our journey, what is the step you most feared to take, but now decide to take holding my hand? Write here in the comments our declaration of trust. Guide me, Lord. Remain in absolute silence, for we are reaching the climax of this encounter, where mystery becomes revelation, and your weariness becomes invincible strength. Beloved daughter, feel now the gentle weight of my hands lifting from the clay, not because I have abandoned you, but because the work of this journey is ready to be revealed to the world. Look at yourself in this prophetic moment. You are no longer that woman who began this message with a broken heart and eyes clouded by uncertainty. Something has changed in the structure of your being. The air you breathe now feels lighter, and that tightness that crushed your chest has given way to a holy expectation. I saw every second of your surrender, every time your mind tried to return to its former captivity, and your soul, with a whisper of courage, decided to remain here with me. This encounter was not just a video on a screen, it was a reckoning with your destiny, a decree signed by heaven itself that your previous version, full of patches and fears, has been definitively left behind in the dust of my pottery. Do you remember that right at the beginning I made you a promise? I said that if you stayed with me until the end, I would whisper a phrase to your heart, a spiritual key capable of opening the doors that the past tried to lock. The moment has come for you to receive this seal of power. Close your eyes, incline your spiritual ears, and receive this truth that now becomes your new identity. I can do all things through him who strengthens me. This is not just a phrase repeated over time. It is your new name, the foundation of every step you will take from now on into the unknown territory. When weariness tries to visit you again, or when the voices of the old self scream that you will fail, you will raise your voice and declare this truth with the authority of one who has been remade by my hands. I want you to seal this commitment now, before all the angels and before your own history. Right here in the comments, with all the conviction of your soul, this powerful phrase, "I can do all things through him who strengthens me." As you write each letter, feel the chains of the past breaking and the strength of my spirit clothing your new structure. Our journey does not end here, for the kingdom is continuous growth, and I still have profound secrets to reveal to your heart. If you feel that your soul still thirsts to hear my voice, I invite you to delve into the playlist on our Divine Love channel, where I have left other messages prepared especially to nourish your new version. Stay connected to my frequency, for the new time I have prepared for you is greater than anything you have ever dreamed of. Go in peace, clothed in my strength, for your best version has just been born under my loving gaze. I am breathing the breath of new life upon your ashes now. Do not fear tomorrow, for I have already arrived there first to await you. You are my vessel of honor, and your renewed beauty will astound the world.